Today, I will be talking about the murder of JonBenet and who murdered her. I think it was none other than Michael Helgoff. So now I'm going to go step by step of how I think Michael Helgoff murdered JonBenet. We start at the break-in. Michael Helgoff is known for breaking into people's houses and stalking them. So with that experience, it's not surprising that he knew how to pick the lock, leaving no signs of forced entry. Then we go to the ransom. Michael Helgoff likes little girls because he was found naked in bed with his girlfriend's daughter. JonBenet was a little girl. So, to put this kidnapping into effect, he did research on the Ramseys, and during that research, he found John's pay of $118,000, the same amount the kidnappers put on the ransom note. It was also said on the ransom note that we are a small foreign faction, so I believe that Michael Helgoff did this with friends that locals said partook in the same sick activities that Michael Helgoff did. Then we go to the body. As him and his friends were taking the body, JonBenet knew what was going on. So before she could let out a scream alerting her parents, Michael Helgoff or his other conspirators bashed in her head with a blunt object, crashing into 8 inches of skull. But realizing she wasn't dead, they formated a garrote and strangled her to death. And then they set up the crime to look like an amateur, because the police would have been looking for experts. With their background, and with Michael Helgoff committing previous crimes, they were considered experts. So they made it look like an amateur crime scene so that they could throw off the police. Then we go to the motive. Michael Helgoff wanted to fulfill his sick desires with the beauty pageant queen, JonBenet Ramsey. His friends wanted in on this, and they thought they could get some cash in on it by making this a kidnapping. However, a speech was made on live television saying that new technology and new theories could lead to the killer of JonBenet Ramsey. After this speech, Michael Helgoff was found dead. People say it was suicide, but he was shot in the side of his body, not in the head or the mouth like most people would do. So that's why he was murdered by the friends that were with him that night. They knew he was going to be under pressure. They knew he was going to crack, so they murdered him to keep him silent. Also in Michael Helgoff's room, there was a stun gun found, a stun gun that could have left marks that were on JonBenet's body. And then there was the DNA left on JonBenet's body. First, we go to the blood. As she was being strangled, she must have scratched one of Michael Helgoff's friends to get the blood. For Michael Helgoff's DNA was not a match to any DNA that was found, so it was a friend that the police never could have identified. And then the saliva. Michael Helgoff's friends must have been in the moment. With their sick desires, they must have been drooling, fantasizing on what they could have done with her. So they must have drooled and left it on her body. And then, to make it even look more like a crime scene, they grabbed paintbrushes that were in the Ramseys' home and sexually molested her with those paintbrushes. Then, after that, they wrote the ransom with a pen and a notepad that were found in the Ramsey household. But you might be wondering, what about that stinking pineapple? Well, it's not uncommon for kids to wake up in the middle of the night for a midnight snack. Burke must have got the pineapple bowl for JonBenet. That's why his fingerprints were on the bowl. Then, when they were done eating the pineapple, they went upstairs back to sleep satisfied. Now, you don't have to believe me. You could still think it was the parents, Santa Claus, but I believe all these information points to Helgoff being the murderer.